All right, chat. Let's get into it. We got to get Brandon Banfield finished here. What kind of sandwich did I make? None. No, I had a sandwich made out of air. I had an air sandwich. All right, so let's get this here. Brandon Banfield, day 9. Remember, this is now cross-examination, and he just got BTFO'd by the prosecutor. So here we go. Let's continue. Let's where's the banners? Here we go. Let's keep going.
Again, Mr. Banfield, since you're still testifying, you cannot discuss your testimony with anybody to include your attorney until you're finished, okay?
Do you want me to ask you a question?
You might want to ask your lawyer a question and not me before you ask me a question. Do you want to?
Can I go up there?
Yeah, go ahead, ask.
Let's see here. Yeah. He's like, how'd I do? You fucked it up. So, we're just taking a big old break here, chat. Here we go.
What's the question?
I think it's probably not an appropriate question, Judge, so we're just going to leave it as it is.
Okay, not an appropriate question, so you can't talk to your attorney, okay? All right, thank you. All right, we'll come back at 2:15 then, okay?
The detective instructed him at that moment to stop. And Judge.
All right, that's all you have, Mr. Carroll?
That's all I have.
All right.
I have an.
Which, yeah, here we go.
Okay,
Okay, awesome. 159.
159.
Thank you.
We'll get that.
Here we go.
A gentleman approached one of our detectives in front of 2 jurors and asked if it was too late to testify. The detective instructed him at that moment to stop speaking, and they walked away, and that was the extent of it, but that would have been overheard by 2 of the jurors.
All right.
Ooh.
May we approach, Judge?
Good on the prosecutor for explaining, hey, look, the jurors may have had incidental contact here. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, man. Uh-oh. I don't know where it's going, Brandon.
3 then?
Asked on cross-examination as to your decisions relating to calling 911. At what point did you feel like 911 was necessary?
I guess once I was in the room, I knew that 911 was going to be necessary.
And at the time that you realized that, were you capable of calling 911?
No, my hands were on my firearm.
Okay, and so when you're saying in the room, you'd already confronted Joe Ryan?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And was there any other time that you were in a position to be able to call 911?
When I was rendering aid, I had instructed Juliana to call 911. I believe that was the best course of action at the time.
But you weren't able to call 911 yourself.
Objection leading.
Sustained deleting.
What prevented you from calling 911?
I was rendering aid to Christine.
Now, Ms. Sands asked you if there was any information out there that related to fetish type behavior that you knew of Christine being involved in. And can you elaborate on your answer?
Back in New York, I know that Christine had an affair where she was involved in a BDSM relationship for a month or 2.
And how did you know to talk to her about that?
She was in our bedroom in New York. I observed her with bruises, several of them on her body that I was unaware that she had previously.
And did you ask her about that?
Yes.
Did you have a discussion with her about that?
Yes. Originally, she denied it and said.
Objection hearsay.
You can't say what she said.
Okay.
But you confronted her about it?
Yes.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you suggest she do after being told?
I suggested that we go back to therapy. At that point, I questioned her enjoyment of it. It was pretty emotional conversation.
And in fact, those the things that you indicated that you were unwilling to do?
Objection leading.
What, if any, of those things, why? Were you aware of the things that were related to this New York incident?
Yes, she had. Christine was interested in, I guess, sexual violence. She was a sexual assault nurse examiner. She did many examinations of both men and women that were in people that were injured, people that had a lot of people that were choked, people that were raped. Some pretty graphic things. She used to bring some of her documents home, so I was aware that she seemed to look at them relatively often.
Okay, and so, and I'm sorry, can you tell me what year was this?
She was a sexual assault nurse examiner. This is an estimate, I guess, from like 2012 to 2017, 2018.
And the incident that you're talking about with regard to her experience, when was that?
An estimate to 2014.
And is it your testimony that that's when treatment took place?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
When did treatment take place in relation to that date?
I believe that we went to counseling in 2013 and again in 2014.
And as far as you can tell, were there ever any other incidences where she was involved in something like that?
She had indicated that there was a.
Objection hearsay.
You can't tell what she said.
Okay. I'm aware that there was another brief relationship where she was stalked for a few weeks.
And were there? How were you alerted to that?
She was frightened of that person.
Objection non-responsive.
Overruled this one. Next question.
Were there any injuries related to her relating to that situation?
No, I'm not aware that she was injured in that situation.
Okay, and the previous one that you talked about, were there injuries?
There was significant bruising to her legs, to her buttocks, to her chest.
Did you notice any physical changes in the way she carried herself as a result of that?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
What, if any, other physical clues were there that this was going on?
She had difficulty walking. She was walking very stiffly.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Now, in terms of your testimony and some of the letters that you wrote there, you, in the letters, contains statements about Juliana being a hero for you.
Yes.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury of what it is you meant by that?
I believe that Joe Ryan was very much still a threat, both to me and Christine, to everyone that was in the house. When he got up and was able to strike me, my weapon was on the floor as well as the knife. So those were both things that he could potentially have had access to. So I view that Juliana's actions potentially saved the rest of us.
Now, there was testimony that you testified that you broke up with Juliana prior to this incident, correct?
That she broke up with me?
I'm sorry, there was a breakup.
Yes.
And
I'm not gonna lie, Kat. When you hear
do you have
the way he tells the story, like we were then wrestling for the gun, and all of a sudden, like it's like a movie, and it just pans away to the wall, and you hear bang, And then it's like Indiana Jones where Brendan looks down. And it's just like in Indiana Jones. It's actually Joe Ryan holding the gun and blood starts coming out of him. And he goes, ugh. And Juliana's behind her going, I didn't know I killed him. Like, that's what you're expecting to see happen. It's like fucking Indiana Jones the way he tells the story. I'm not sure if Luke says, so this is the States cross. No, this is redirect. This is redirect. Man, they're all gonna go take a shit or go to the bathroom and convict him. Like, this is not gonna go that long. So,
Any idea when that was in relation to February 24th?
I guess it was kind of complicated. She was very upset with me when Christine and I went on a vacation. We went on a cruise in November. I would say that started a lot of Juliana's anxiety and anger with me. On Christmas, she went to a hotel because she did not want to view Christmas with me and my family. But she didn't want to see me, Christine, and Valerie together. In February, when Ms. Sands had brought up the messages, she had indicated that she was going back on dating apps, and that was going to be the end.
Okay. And you were trying to talk to her, is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And so at the time that this happened, what was the status of the affair? And I was talking about February 24th, 2003, at that time.
We were not in a relationship at that point. It wasn't that long that the relationship had stopped, but Juliana at that point had made it clear that we weren't going to be together any longer.
And so what, if anything, did you, when you made the decision to shoot Joe Ryan, did you feel like Christine?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
What did you think when you made the decision to shoot Joe Ryan?
That he was an imminent danger, that he was a threat to Christine, and that was the best way to stop his actions.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right. If you can have a seat next to your attorney. Your next witness,
Your Honor, I believe
the remote witness, is that
they were the remote witness.
the remote witness? All right.
I haven't communicated with him per the
No,
court's
he
order.
was prepared to be between 2:30 and 3, so he should be fine. So let's just get him.
Okay.
It just might take a minute or two.
Yes, thank you.
Wait, we already started this. I have notes.
here we go, chat. That was, yeah. Here we go. We're back to the,
Just a reminder that you're still under oath, okay, sir?
this is the Tennessee tech expert. We'll see what he's
Yes, Your Honor.
today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barrero. This is John Carroll.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm going to try to start where we left off on the previous testimony. I believe we were talking about your methodology.
Yes, sir.
Now, you reference in your methodology critical listening, waveform, and spectrographic analysis.
Yes, sir.
Can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that is?
Yes. So critical listening is just a detailed, repeated auditory review of the evidence. It's using high quality professional headphones on a forensic workstation and just reviewing the evidence in as detailed a way as possible with the ears. And that normally goes hand in hand with the waveform and spectrographic analysis, which is the visual representation on the screen of the audio that we are hearing through the ears. And the waveform is the squiggly line that everybody's familiar with. The spectrogram includes the frequency or the pitch, the individual frequencies that are present in the file. Instead of just the amplitude of the sound wave in the waveform, you get the amplitude, you get the frequency or pitch also contained within the spectrogram.
And what does a spectrogram show us that our ears might miss?
So the spectrogram separates the sound into its frequency components. And so we'll see the individual frequencies that make up the sound. It's like deconstructing a symphony. You can see the individual instruments as opposed to just the sound altogether. So it really allows us to see through noise and overlapping sounds and allows us to see audio details that otherwise you wouldn't necessarily be able to hear just with the ears. And it provides an objective measurement to use when we're analyzing an audio recording.
And sir, in your analysis, you discuss fundamental frequency and formants. What are those?
The fundamental frequency is the lowest frequency of a sound. Typically, if we're talking about a vocal sound or a musical sound, the fundamental frequency is what we would consider the pitch of that sound. It's symbolized as F0. It's the lowest formant on the spectrogram, and the formants that accompany that, they're the overtones. They're the resonant frequencies above the fundamental frequency that really gives the whatever the sound is, gives the voice or the instrument the unique sound, because those formants are created. They are a reflection of the unique shape and physical characteristics of the vocal tract or the instrument itself that created the sound. So the reason you can hear the difference between a piano playing middle C or a saxophone playing middle C, they're both playing the exact same pitch, right? Middle C is a defined pitch, but it's the overtones, or in this case, we're talking about the formants that actually give that sound its unique characteristics that allow you to distinguish the difference between a saxophone and a piano, for example.
And sir, you've received 2 audio files as part of your analysis, correct?
I did.
Okay, so there are 2 items in evidence. One is Commonwealth's Exhibit Number 1, which was the known 911 call. And we also have Defense Exhibit Number 378, otherwise titled Lily 3, original. Have you reviewed both of those? Now, let's just look at the 911 call first. What, if anything, do you do regarding isolating a specific sound?
So for the 911 call, there's a sound after the dispatcher answers, which is really the only sound that I was concerned with. It's a short recording to begin with, but the sound in question is about 1.4 seconds after. It's a 1.4 second clip after the dispatcher answers the phone. And so I used that 1.4 second clip for the entirety of my analysis of this tape. I didn't do anything else with, like, when the dispatcher answered the phone or the automated voice that comes on the line prior to the dispatcher.
Okay. And was this relating, were you analyzing based upon what you just explained to us, how you got to that 1.4 second clip?
Yes. So on the spectrogram, it's visually very visible in the spectrogram, as well as audible when you listen to it, that there is this there's this sound in that 1.4 second segment. You can see the fundamental frequency at the bottom, the F0, and some distinct formants stacked above it. So that sound was easy to isolate audibly with the ears and easily to isolate visibly in the spectrogram.
And let's move on to the exemplar recording of the dog, Lily. Lily 3. What did you find
Yes, sir.
regarding the fundamental frequency of that?
So there was a segment of the Lily recording that I also isolated and used for the analysis here. And the fundamental frequency for both the 911 call, that questioned sound on the 911 call, and the segment of the Lily recording, the fundamental frequencies were both in the low 200 hertz range. And then there were formants stacked above those in both recordings as well. And so I isolated each of those and put them side by side to compare not only the fundamental frequency, but also the individual formats that were stacked above that.
And what, if anything, did you do then?
So I found that in both recordings, the fundamental frequency was in the low 200 hertz range, and then I did look at the individual formants above that, and the specific the F1 and F2 formants. So the first two formants above the fundamental in both the Lily exemplar and in the 911 call, those first two formants were the highest amplitude. And then the other formants stacked above that kind of dropped off in amplitude. And they all lined up very well in the spectrogram, meaning the individual frequencies that made up these sounds were consistent from one to the other.
And what, if anything, did you create as a result of that?
So I created what I titled exemplar 911 concatenated.wave. And this was a file that I created using the isolated segments that I just talked about. So the short 1.4 second segment from the 911 call and the segment from the Lily 911, or I'm sorry, the Lily exemplar recording. I placed those side by side. So basically one right after the other in this exemplar concatenated recording, so that it could be compared audibly as well as visually in the spectrogram and with your own ears. And so when these two sounds are played back to back like that, you can hear that when they are played back to back, it's a consistent tone. It's a consistent sound that both audibly and visually with these two samples.
And this concatenated wave exemplar of the 911 and the Lily calls is something that you created based upon Commonwealth Exhibit 1, which is moved into evidence, and Commonwealth and Defense Exhibit 378 that's been moved into evidence?
Yes, sir.
You're going to move in
Keep
the
those.
concatenated wave as Exhibit 379.
Any objection?
Caffeinated.
No, ma'am.
379 in evidence?
Your Honor, may I have permission to play?
Sure, do you need assistance? Because
I'm going to try to play. I always need assistance.
well, your laptop's not connected anymore to the,
Oh,
I have IT
okay. Thank you.
in the
I'm
courtroom
fine,
because,
fine stepping away.
like,
Hey, Kay, does your dog live out in the snow right now because you guys have so much going on? Did you build it like an igloo?
yes. Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Carroll.
As a technology person or not?
You're trying to play. No comment.
So this one right here, exemplar 911.
Okay, and are you attached to the system?
I think I am.
Okay. You have a.
Am I good to go? Okay.
It's just not.
Okay, it's only a short one.
Just have to move the microphone down to the left. There you go.
It sounded like the fucking call to prayer from a mosque for a second. Holy shit.
Sir, could you hear that?
Not really well, but I could.
Is there another way to hook into the system?
I love how he's a boomer, but there's the boomer IT lady. That's very funny. Was that Clyde? Yeah, Clyde be more pronounced. That is a dog howling. It's the slow motion. No, trying to stop somebody.
Could you hear that again, sir?
Yes, I can hear it. It's not great quality, but yes, I can hear it.
Oh, now you're admitting it's not great quality. That doesn't your analysis. Oh, buddy.
Sir, when you played these two sounds back to back, the known dog sound and the question 911 sound, what did you hear?
So the audio was consistent from one recording to the next. They sounded audibly consistent with each other, and like I said, visually they were also consistent in the spectrogram.
Now, is it possible to, using all of the tools that you have, to find a moment where the pitch of one sample is consistent with the pitch of the comparison sample, if you have a long enough exemplar?
So it might be possible, given a long enough recording, to find a moment where the pitch or the fundamental frequency matches simply by chance in a long recording. But that would just be one piece of the puzzle. Like I said, with the fundamental frequency, that's just the start of the sound. What really gives a sound its full character are all of the formants or the overtones, like we talked about with separating the sound of a piano with the sound of a saxophone. Those two instruments, if you have a long enough recording, their pitch is going to overlap a lot, right? They could be playing the same note at the same time, but they will never sound the same because of those overtones, because of, in this case, the formants make up the sound. So we're not just simply talking about the single pitch of the fundamental frequency happens to line up at one moment in the recording. We're talking about much more than just a single moment where the pitch matches, but all of the characteristics of the sound are also consistent. So the unique sound of this groan, we'll call it, that comes from those formants, not just the pitch. So yes, while it is technically possible that you could find a moment in any sufficiently long enough recording with sufficiently variable pitches where two pitches might match, that's really not what was done here. This is looking at the entirety of those two samples for the comparison, not just the pitches happen to cross each other at a moment.
Now, based on your forensic analysis, have you reached a conclusion regarding the unidentified groaning sound on the 911 call and the known recordings of the dog Lily?
Yes. So I can say to a high degree of forensic certainty that the apparent groaning sound on the 911 call is consistent with the dog groaning sounds found in that exemplar recording.
And would your conclusion be any different if you were retained by the prosecution?
No, my conclusion would be exactly the same, because my analysis is based strictly on the objective data, the spectrograms and the audio characteristics, not on which party is actually requesting the analysis. I tell everybody that hires me, I'm not an advocate for either side. I'm an advocate for the evidence. So my testimony would be, my conclusion would be exactly the same, no matter which side retained me.
Thank you, sir. Those are all the questions I have. The Commonwealth may have some questions.
Cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barrero. Thank you so much for your time today again.
I need to fix something.
Just a couple of questions for you.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it entirely possible that the sound that we hear in the background of the 911 recording could also have been a human making that noise?
Possible.
It's possible, yes.
Okay. And you were given a 1 hour and 25-minute long segment of Lily, or sample of Lily, to compare to the 1.4 seconds of 911 call. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a weird.
Okay. And in the approximately 5,100 seconds of Lily groaning, you found what I think I understand to be a 6-second sample that matched. Is that correct?
No, I wouldn't characterize it like that, because much of that exemplar, there was no groaning. There was only a few tiny segments in that whole sample where there was any groaning.
Okay. And this was titled Lily 3 audio. We heard the defendant testify that there were as many as 3 different samples created. Were you given samples 1 and 2 to compare?
No, I wasn't.
All right. Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right, redirect.
Oh, that's kind of shitty.
Mr. Barrero, just to be clear, the item Lily 3 was nearly an hour long, correct?
I don't remember the exact time, but yes, it was a much longer recording than the 911 call.
And it was recorded, or it was left recording in order to get
Objection
sound.
leading.
Sustained.
Is it fair to say that there were numerous sounds on there, but not a continuous?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
What did you find with regard to the Lily 3 recording?
There was a lot of relative silence. So no real sounds at all, just kind of background noise. There was some barking and whining and other sort of dog sounds. And like I said, just a few groaning sounds in the entire recording.
And when you choose your exemplar for purposes of your forensic analysis, you have specific goals in terms of making it a good comparison, correct?
Yes. So clearly, it wouldn't be beneficial to take the time to compare a barking sound with a groaning sound, right? Because those are immediately, obviously, not consistent with each other. So I specifically was looking for a groaning sound, because that's what is audible on the 911 tape.
And no one directed you to the sounds?
Objection leading.
Did anybody direct you to the sounds that you ultimately chose in order to use as a comparison?
No, sir. I was given the entire file, and I chose the segment that I used for the.
The way I understand it, they're arguing that would have been Joe or somebody else moaning for help instead of the dog. They're trying to argue that people weren't dead when they called 911.
Comparison.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, your next witness,
Your Honor, the defense rests.
defense rests. All right, why don't we go ahead and take our break? Let's go ahead and take our 15-minute break before we do rebuttal evidence, okay?
All right, we're going into rebuttal mode. We're rebutting. Here we go.
Sorry, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's give them a chance. Okay.
I believe that was in a woo, not a groan. Yes, I would need Clyde for that, being a woo expert. Okay, sent me a picture of Lily.
Commonwealth's rebuttal evidence?
Oh, here's their doggo. Here's the doggo. Well, that's a kid. But there's their dog. Is that not a Malamute or is that a Husky? I don't know what it is, but there you go. Apparently the kid got hit in the face with a paintball gun. So Gene says, Michael Gelke, yeah, have we seen this judge before? Yes. This is the Johnny Depp judge. This is the Penny Ascarati. Ascarati. It's the judge from the Johnny Depp trial. Yes, you have seen her before. Fairfax County, Virginia. Oh, here we go. Let's get back to this.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would call Detective Stephen Augustine.
All right. Detective Augustine?
Oh, I agree, Joe. Oh,
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to
It helps,
testify
okay.
truthfully in this case under penalty of law? I do. Thank you.
ooh, I don't think we've seen this guy before.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court record?
Sure. Detective Stephen Augustine, that's STEPHEN,
Thank you,
Augustine,
Detective
like
Augustine.
him,
And can you
medic.
tell us what it is you do for Fairfax County Police Department?
I've been a law enforcement officer for 24 years, the last 20 of which I've been with the Fairfax County Police Department. The last 12 years I've been a detective, technical investigations unit, forensic audio and video section.
Can you tell me about
Oh.
your training
He's
and
a forensic and audio video detective. He sounds like the Gil guy from The Simpsons. Gil, the salesman, is always like on his having bad luck. You know, and they steal his wall at the realtor's office. This is imagine him be like, "You're under arrest. Reach for the sky."
education that led you to forensic audio analysis?
Sure. I possess a master's degree in audio technology as well as a master's degree in forensic science.
longer?
Prior to my career here at Fairfax, I was a full-time instructor at American University in the audio technology department, teaching audio technology, electronics, and digital audio.
Have you previously testified as an expert in forensic audio analysis?
I've testified as an expert in forensic video analysis. I'm not sure if they qualified it as audio and video at the time.
All right. Is there anything about video analysis and your training for video analysis that differs?
For those of you outside of the United States or in Rio Linda as well, American University is in Washington, D.C. It's actually a pretty good university, pretty prestigious. I mean, it's not like Harvard, but it is well known. It is well known. I even think they have a law school.
Or limits your ability as an audio expert?
No.
All right. Judge, at this time, I'm going to offer him as an expert in forensic audio analysis.
Any objection? Sure.
Definitely, Detective Augustine.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carroll.
Sir, you heard Nick Barrero testify, correct?
I did.
Okay, and in terms of some of the concepts that he was talking about, are you familiar with those? Okay.
Yes.
And so you've worked
You
with.
guys wonder what's going on right now? They are voir direing the witness at this point. Oh, you guys think he has dentures? Oh, okay. Interesting. So here we go. Voir dire, not voir dire. Voir dire. So, but yeah, this is just voir dire. They're voir direing the expert.
And are you familiar with spectrographic analysis?
Yes.
Okay, and how many times have you worked in that capacity on the audio side of things?
On the audio side of things, for the past 4 years, I've done all of the forensic audio examinations and analysis for the police department.
And does that work, is that related to, and have you used spectrographic analysis in all of them?
No.
Okay, so what are the circumstances where spectrographic analysis is utilized?
In this particular case, he used it to provide a visual representation of what the audio was, what the sound was. So you're able to visualize what the sound is.
And in your 12 years on the police force and working in this capacity, have you done that before?
Spectral analysis?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Is that a tool that's used by people that are audio forensic
Sure.
analysis?
Yes.
Okay. Have you used waveform as a methodology?
Yes. Waveform analysis, yes. I'm familiar with spectrograph analysis as well.
Okay. But you've used waveform. For example, when you're doing what he did on a case, you're using tools. You didn't use spectrographic analysis in any previous case, but
Correct.
waveform?
Yes.
Okay. And so would that be something that you would utilize on a regular basis?
Yes.
Is that something that's crucial to audio analysis?
I wouldn't say it's crucial, but I think it's common across all the forensic audio software.
Now, did you?
Oh, you think he's
hear
got
him discuss-
you think he's got that vocal dysmorphia thing? Like he sounds like RFK. You guys brought that up. Yeah, he does sound like RFK, just not as bad. So that disability probably gave him 10 points on the Fairfax County PD. Debbie. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, the audio man has issues with output. Ironic. The mic is popping. Popping that pop.
in fundamental frequency informants?
I did.
Okay. Did you agree with that?
I agreed with scientific principles, yes, that he presented.
Now, in your analysis over 12 years, did you use those scientific principles of fundamental frequency informants?
Yes.
Now, in this instance, did you do an independent test regarding these sounds?
I looked at him via the waveform, but I was asked by prosecution to look at his exemplary report and comment on what he had provided.
So there was no analysis done with regard to the known quantities?
There was no further analysis done aside from critical listening.
Okay.
Critical listening
Yes,
is
I don't have an
almost
objection to
pretty
you as an
critical.
expert.
All right, so we'll move him in as a forensic audio expert.
Thank you.
I would oppose entering this guy as an expert. Jeez. Object to it. Don't just fucking let him do it.
All right.
Bud.
Now that you're an expert, can you tell us about your analysis of the defense work in this case?
Sure. I don't have a copy of the work in front of me, but the first few pages are just stating properties that were used in his examination and his forensic analysis, which include waveform analysis, spectrographic analysis.
And did you draw any conclusions from your review of the materials regarding the likelihood of a, let's call it, match between the Lily 3 sample and the exemplar from the 911 call?
I did not hear him state that it was a match. He stated in his testimony that it's consistent between the two samples, which I concur, but there's also some further explanation that I think.
What is the further explanation that you think is warranted here?
Would it be possible for me to see a physical copy of the report?
The entire report or just the
Spectrograph is fine.
spectrograph? Judge, if I may approach the witness?
You've seen this, I assume?
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Well, he's seen it, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about this. Do you recognize that document?
I do.
Okay, what do you recognize it to be?
This is a concatenation, which is a fancy word for stitching of the two files, the exemplar and the 911 call.
All right, and specifically that type of demonstrative, what is that?
This is a spectrograph, which is what we had discussed.
All right, and that's the spectrograph that was created by Mr. Barrero, the defense expert. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, Judge, at this point in time, I would offer that as Commonwealth's. Forgive me, please, just a moment. Let me get to my exhibits folder. Judge, that would be Commonwealth's 252.
252, any objection?
Yeah.
What?
I believe this would be hearsay for him. So I'm going to work on it. Even if it's a new newspaper.
Not hearsay. I'll overrule the objection.
So what observations did you make in your analysis of the defense expert's work?
Sure. If I could clarify,
Foundation?
I can certainly ask some more questions if we need. Let's talk about that piece of evidence specifically. Are you aware of how it was created?
yes,
Okay, can you tell us how it was created?
sure. The gentleman uses isotope audio, which is similar to Digidesign, Pro Tools. There's numerous software companies that have the ability to edit audio files. What he did here, as I stated, is he's using a visual representation of the sound file. So as you can see here, they show the different formats, which he also stated as overtones or harmonics that are present within the sound signals, both sound signals.
All right, Judge, at this time, I would offer Commonwealth's 252 in evidence.
All right. Overruled. All right,
All
252.
right, please continue. What were
Sure.
your observations?
So my initial observations were that in the exemplar, aside from the fact that you had mentioned that there was over 5,100 seconds of audio, there was a 6-second sample that was used from the Willoughby WAV file to compare to the 1.4 seconds that is shown here from the 911 call. Just to explain formants and overtones a little bit further than the other gentleman did, the fundamental frequency, which is the lowest frequency that he stated in this particular case, is 200 hertz. So what you would expect to see if you had a sound, if it wasn't coming from a signal generator or some sort of pure tone that illustrated a perfect sine wave, you're always going to have overtones. For example, in both of these, at this point, at this juncture point, they're both the fundamental tone, or F0, as he referred to it, as 200 hertz. What you would expect to find in any sound source minus a pure 200 hertz sine wave is overtones. Where those overtones occur, they occur on multiples. That's what he means when he's referring to formants. So here you have 200 hertz, your F1, your first formant, 400, 600, 800. So the fact that two different audio files look similar because they're displaying the same overtones.
Debbie, I 100%
normal
agree.
for
That's a
200
higher
hertz
place.
sound if it's not a pure sine wave. And the other thing that I wanted to
That's
illustrate
what it looks
on
like
this,
to me too.
can I fold this?
Please do.
Okay. So at the juncture point where he concatenated or stitched the two audio clips together, if I can demonstrate, if you can see this while I'm talking. This is a 7.5 second clip, the first 6 seconds for his exemplar, the dog, Willoughby, moaning. This portion, if you can see it, is a 1.4 seconds where he took it from the recording. So if I do my best with holding and lining up, I think you can see here, I'm trying to keep it still. Nothing lines up until it gets to that specific point in time. Something else that I noticed that the gentleman didn't mention in his testimony, when listening to his exemplar, the concatenation of the two sound files, there was no delineation between the two files. So I looked at it on waveform analysis and zoomed in on the waveform so I could see if there was any separation between the two files. And there was no point that I could see where there was any sort of ending to the first and beginning of the last, which to me would reflect that what was likely used when concatenating the files is what's called a crossfade, an X-fade. So
Now I want him to fold a $20 bill. No, it's like, is it the 20 where you could fold it and you could show the Twin Towers burning? Which one is it? Is that the $20? That's a $20 or $10. You could fold it and the fucking Twin Towers are burning too.
So as the first exemplar, the Willie file fades out in volume, the other
Yes.
file, the 911 call, is coming in. So it's almost a mixture of both sounds, which makes it sound like one continuous file. When you listen to it, when you hear the groan tail off into the 911 groan.
So what would we have heard differently if he had not used the crossfade?
Best practices, you would have heard a full 6 seconds of the exemplar, which start at varying pitch. There's quite a bit higher in the groan that's represented in the 911 call. And you would hear the point where they separate, and you would hear the two different ones to compare to.
Thank you. Now shift gears here for a second. When were you asked to first examine these sound files?
I believe I received an email from Detective Ryan on September 29th of 2025.
Okay, so approximately a year and a half, almost 2 years after the murders were committed. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So when you were presented with these clips, the 911 clip and the Lily clip, were you given any background information about the 911 clip to further your analysis?
No.
Okay. Have you ever had the opportunity to watch any of the recorded statements of Juliana Perez Magalhães?
No.
Okay. And did you witness her testimony here in this trial?
I did not witness her testimony. It wasn't until yesterday that I was released from viewing or discussing the case.
Okay. So when you performed your analysis of the 911 recording, specifically the hang up, is it fair to say you didn't necessarily know what you were listening to? Absolutely. Did you know what you were listening to?
Sustained. I knew what case it was affiliated with, yes.
Sorry, say that again for
I
me.
knew what case that it was affiliated with, yes.
Did you know if anyone was expected to speak in that recording? Did you know
No.
what to listen for?
No.
Okay. And how did you perform an analysis of that 911 hang-up call? What did you do with it?
I put it into Avid Pro Tools, which is audio software very similar to Isotope, what the other gentleman was using. And I looked at the waveform, and I did a waveform analysis and critical listening of the files.
I was going to say, Joe, I didn't realize you were an audio guy as well as a writer, but interesting. Yeah, but a Husky X could be like, yeah, it kind of sounds like a Husky, but like interesting. You'd want a dog expert say it's a dog howl. Didn't realize that. That's very interesting.
And based on the waveform analysis and critical listening, what did you observe?
I observed, audibly, I heard the 911 telephone call and the computerized voice that's referred to at the beginning. And the operator asks, "Where is your emergency?" And upon inspection of the waveform, I saw that there were sounds present prior to the groaning sound that is heard on the 911 call.
Okay, so you're indicating in between the cessation of the 911 operator speaking and the beginning of the groaning, you heard something or you saw something.
Correct.
Okay. Did you dig into that?
I did. So what I did is I separated that portion of the audio where I thought I heard something in essentially an app, and it's called clip gain. And on that one portion of the 911 call, I was able to raise the volume of what was heard just prior to the groaning.
And were you able to make out a human voice?
I heard what I believe to be a human voice, yes.
And what did the human voice say?
So, chat, remember, the whole argument here is they were not in the basement. They made the 911 call upstairs, but who's doing the groaning? They're like, oh, it's somebody who's dying. And they're like, no, it's the dog. The dog was in the basement. Therefore, Juliana was calling from the basement. Remember, the prosecutor talked about this. There was that errant 911 call, and their argument is, remember, she's like, I tried to make the 911 call, and he told me I was too early. Brendan said it was too early. Don't do it yet. So that's kind of where the state's trying to blow a hole in this and show that Brendan's a liar. So that's what we're looking at right now. Oh God, he looks like he's done. I think he knows he's toast. So yeah, that old lady from Karen Reed probably would qualify. So it's sinking in. I think he knows that. Yeah. Let that sink in, buddy. Let that sink in, son. It's like Elon said, bring that sink in, buddy.
All right. Do not have. All right. I think we do not have any further questions of you, Detective. Thank you so much. Please answer any questions that counsel might have for you.
Examination.
There's not really any questions you want him to ask or answer here, buddy. If I'm defense attorney, I'm like,
Detective Augustine, what you've just shown is something from my expert's report, and it's a spectrographic analysis. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you testified previously in the voir dire that you don't even work with spectrographic analysis, correct?
I stated that I'm familiar with spectrographic, but it's nothing that I've done prior.
But you don't use it as a tool in your analysis, correct?
It's a tool that I have available, but I haven't used it in the case.
Okay. And so in terms of best methods, is it appropriate to fold a piece of paper in order to make a comparison as best methods?
I determined that was the best visual way to represent it that would make it understandable.
Okay. And was there any effort at making a presentation to support whatever your conclusions were today, other than folding the paper?
No, this is all I was presented with and instructed to have my comments on.
And when were you presented that?
I believe I stated September 29th is when Detective Ryan sent it to me.
So, okay, so let me understand this.
Sure.
So you were just given one picture and asked to make an analysis?
I was given a complete report from the gentleman's forensic analysis, and I reviewed the entire report.
Gotcha. And did you prepare a report?
I did not.
Were you asked not to?
I was not asked to prepare a report. I was asked to comment on his findings.
Would it be best practices in the world that you're in to have prepared a
it's
report?
actually good. This is good, Croc.
Point to object. It's argumentative and irrelevant.
Overruled, good.
That's pretty relevant.
Speaking about best practices, would it have been best practices to create a report with whatever findings that you wanted to tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
If I was instructed to do my own analysis, a separate report from this, I would say yes. But as reviewing this as a rebuttal witness, I didn't believe it to be necessary.
But you work for the Fairfax County Police Department.
Correct, sir.
So they could have asked you to do an analysis on their own.
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained at this point.
Oh, come on, let him get that.
You have the capacity to do a full analysis if you were asked, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Do you recall who got you involved?
Objection, relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
Was it Detective Bryant?
Objection.
Sustain the objection. I'll sustain the objection.
Oh, come on, Judge. Let them do this. They're fucked anyway.
I don't have
Know
any
it.
questions.
All
Judge.
right, redirect.
Nothing, Judge. Thank you so
All
much.
right. You're free to go, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your next witness,
Patrick Smith.
Patrick Smith.
This is the
Sure.
hold on to your butts, chat. This guy is going to be good. Here we go. Here we go. The competency crisis is a real thing, yes. Uh-oh, this is the surprise witness, chat.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
Thomas Patrick Smith, ThomasPatrick,
Thank you. You can pull the mic just a little bit closer to you. Thank you. Do you know Mr. Banfield?
I do.
Okay, and in what capacity?
I'm a special agent with Irish Criminal Investigation, and Mr. Banfield was previously employed with Irish Criminal Investigation at my office in Vienna, Virginia.
Directing your attention to February 23rd and 24th of 2024. In that time period, was he your direct supervisee?
2023?
I'm sorry, 2023.
Yes, on
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. Yeah, are all the fucking IRS... Well, I haven't really dealt with tons of them. Like, they're all fucking speds, chat. They're all fucking speds. I don't get it. Even the guys who carry guns are speds. Like, I get their accountants are fucking speds, but like, they're all speds. Yes, Thomas Patrick Smith, that guy's Irish as fuck. Yeah, don't believe the lie. The phrenology is real. Yeah, it is. Whoa. Fucking autist versus autist right now on stage.
February 24th, 2023, I was the acting supervisory special agent for the Vienna group.
All right, and so did Mr. Banfield report to you?
He did at that time, yes.
All right. Was there anyone else that he reported to during that period of time?
Julia Jones was the permanent supervisory special agent, but she was out of the country. And IRS practice is that someone is designated to be the acting supervisor when the supervisor is unavailable. So
Right.
in that particular time, I believe I was the acting supervisory special agent from February 15th through February 24th. Juliet returned on Monday, February 27th.
All right. To your knowledge, was there a meeting scheduled between yourself or with Juliet and Mr. Banfield on the morning of February 24th, 2023?
All right, leading.
Sure.
Sustain the objection.
Did you have any plans for the morning of February 24th, 2023?
I did. I was in Baltimore on an unrelated undercover operation on that morning.
Were you scheduled to meet with Mr. Banfield?
I was not.
And again, I'm sorry, where was Juliet, his other supervisor?
She was out of the country.
Okay. Mr. Banfield testified that he was meeting with his manager.
Undercover tax operations. You go like, hello, fellow tax dodgers. I wish to dodge taxes too. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hello, tax dodgers. Do you know where I may where I may defraud the U.S. government out of my income? Like, that's so funny. Yes. Oh no, I'm meaning about a promotion. Also, how do you sneak? Yeah, imagine getting your boss. Yes, imagine you're such a shitbag. Your boss is testifying against you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, do you wear a taxation is theft hat? And you're like, hello, fellow libertarians. Like, and how can you, like, if you're this autistic, how can you be an autistic undercover agent? Like, that's even funnier. How do you, like, you're the fucking spurgiest undercover agent ever. Yes, the Mike Vining glasses deputy is back. Yes. Yep. Shout out to retired Sergeant Major Mike Vining. Fucking deadliest man with the biggest smile in the world. Yes, my favorite baseball squadron is the Tax Dodgers.
Is there another person that could have been?
If you go up the management chain, we have an assistant special agent in charge. his name was David Meisheimer, and we have a special agent in charge, Kareem Carter, and they were both in, I believe, Georgia at the time. Because
And Georgia, the state, not Virginia.
correct.
Okay. Within your industry, is it commonplace to appear for career? Sure thing.
All right, Shane?
How does one dress in the IRS when they are approaching a business meeting that is imperative for their success and potential promotion?
Well, we could say that when I have important meetings, I dress in a semi-formal or formal, like suit and tie, or at least, nice slacks and a shirt.
Would jeans or tennis shoes be acceptable?
I've never worn jeans or tennis or sneakers or tennis shoes for important meetings.
You got to put your microphone on, Mr. Kira. What's your objection?
Objection to the relevance of this. He's indicating what he does.
Overruled.
All right, thank you.
What's he writing notes about? Fuck my boss. He's a faggot. Like, what's he gonna do? Yeah, those are such like the 1980s style with the crossbar.
Did you speak with Mr. Banfield on the morning of February 24th, 2023?
I did not.
Okay.
Spurg.
Were you surprised
Spurg.
that he wasn't there at 8 o'clock?
Again, I was in Baltimore, so I wasn't there, but I was surprised when I received a phone call indicating that Mr. Banfield had discharged his weapon and
That he's probably doing mob stuff.
two
Yeah.
deceased persons, which, as you imagine, that triggered many responsibilities as the acting supervisory special agent too.
Understood. Just as a law enforcement professional trained by the IRS, do you share your gun safe code with your family members?
Objection, Your Honor, it's not relevant and it's needed.
Sustain the objection.
All right, thank you. Nothing further. Please answer any questions council might have for you.
Cross-examination.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir. Tell me your name again.
Special Agent T. Patrick Smith.
Okay. And you were, as I understand it, you were the special agent in charge while Juliet Jones was gone out of the country?
No, I was the acting supervisory special agent.
Okay. And so that was something that she put you in charge of or someone higher than that?
I believe she was able to designate, but I would have to check for sure. But I'm sure she had upper management approval for who she designated as the acting supervisory special agent.
Okay. So so you said something like what happened where he discharged his firearm and there were two people dead. That caused a lot of work for you?
When I was informed by the Fairfax County detective as the acting supervisory special agent that one of the agents in the group had discharged his weapon and there were two deceased persons, then yes, we had to contact upper management, which I did. We had to process the Treasury Inspector for Tax Administration, which we call TIGTA, is essentially our internal affairs. They have to be notified. They do an investigation to determine if the discharge of the weapon was appropriate.
Okay. I guess my question was it extra work for you?
Was it extra work for me?
Isn't that what you just said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that when this situation arises, it becomes a great deal of work for the person who's the acting special agent?
Well, yes, I had to make several phone calls. I had many conversations with people that I would not have had if there hadn't been.
Okay. Now, did the Fairfax County Police know that you were the acting special agent in charge?
I can't really speak what the Fairfax County Police knew, but I did speak with the detective from Fairfax County Police.
Who was the detective you spoke to?
I don't recall the detective's name.
Did you ask him his name?
I knew it at the time. As we speak now, I don't recall.
So there was no report to the people that you called and people that you told about
Objection
this?
calls for speculation.
Overruled, if you can answer it.
There was no report that you created to talk about this situation, which made a lot of work for you, where you would put in the detective's name?
I definitely provided that information to upper management, and if I could access my emails, I'm sure that's in there.
So in your capacity, did you stay within the Vienna office after that when Juliet Jones came back?
Did I stay?
Yeah, were you still in the Vienna office when
I currently am still in the Vienna office.
Okay, so from that time until now, you're still in the Vienna office?
Yes, that's my permanent post of duty. I was there before that day as well.
Now, there were 6 people that were interviewed relating to TIGTA interviews. Actually, I'm sorry, there were 8 people that were interviewed. Do you know the name David Meissenheimer?
Yes, he was the assistant special agent in charge.
Were you aware that he was interviewed by Detective Vesser of Fairfax County?
I don't
Okay.
necessarily know, but
Do you know Lawrence Flagg?
I do. He's another agent who was assigned to the Vienna POD on that time.
Okay, and were you aware that he was interviewed as well by Detective Vesser?
I believe he told me he was interviewed. I don't know. He disclosed the name of the detective.
Now, do you have team assignments in terms of the IRS?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Is there someone named Carrillo that has a team in the Vienna office?
Carrillo?
Yes.
I don't recognize it. Can you spell it? Maybe it's the pronunciation.
Carrillo.
I don't recognize that name.
Okay. Would it surprise you that Juliet Jones, who actually wasn't even there on that day, was interviewed by the Fairfax County Police Detective Vesser?
It would not surprise me that Julie Jones was interviewed. She was the supervisory special agent.
Now, Detective Carter from the Fairfax County Police, did you have contact with him?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there were interviews conducted by him to Bernarda Jackson, special agent.
Objection. Counsel's testifying. He's asked a question.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Bernarda Jackson is another agent in the group, yes.
Okay. And did you know that she was interviewed relating to my client's case?
I can't recall if she told me that or not.
Okay. How about Richard Daniels, who's a special agent?
He's another.
You know that Detective Carter had interviewed him about my client's case?
I think Special Agent Daniels did mention that, yes.
Okay. And Philip Hammond, do you know that person?
Yes, I know Special Agent Hammond.
And did you know that he was interviewed by Fairfax County Police Detective Carter relating to my client's case?
I believe he also told me he'd been interviewed, yes.
Okay. So you knew about that?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you heard all these other people were being interviewed, did you ever say, well, hold on, I was the special agent in charge for a period of February 13th to February 24th?
February 15th.
February 15th to February 24th. You didn't raise your hand and say, what about me?
I did.
And so they chose not to interview you?
I'm not exactly sure what happened, but
Okay.
I was out of town the week that the interviews took place in our office.
Oh, so you're aware of these interviews. What week did that occur?
I'd have to look at my calendar. My best guess, the other things that you had it, is March 2024.
Okay. How about Detective Lynch from Fairfax County interviewing Justin Williams, a special agent?
Justin Williams is another agent in the group.
Did you know he was interviewed?
I think he told me he was.
Okay. And these would have been, other than Juliet Jones, these would have been people who were subordinate to you, correct?
At the time I was acting supervisor special agent, technically, yes. I mean, I view them as coworkers who are all special agents.
Okay. So you're all on the same line unless you get dubbed the acting special agent.
Correct.
Okay. And finally, Kevin Farley, do you know him?
I do. He's another agent in the group.
Okay. And the interviews that were conducted were relating to relationships of Brendan Banfield. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Marriage problems with Brendan Banfield. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Rumors that were going around in the IRS. Did you hear about that?
What rumors?
In the context of these interviews, they were being asked if there were rumors.
I have no recollection of being told that now.
They were talked to, the individuals were all spoken to about schedules that occurred in the Vienna office. Did you know about that?
An interview that I was not present at, I don't know what was discussed.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, you were the special agent in charge.
I was not when these interviews
Objection.
occurred.
Argumentative.
Sustained. Next question.
Okay. Now, there was discussions in these interviews about the types of cases that everybody worked.
Objection. Speculation.
Sustained. Next question.
Do you know what these interviews were about?
I do not know what occurred in an interview I was not present at. No.
Okay. So you were there and for 2 weeks in that capacity, correct? 15th to the 24th.
Again, I was acting supervisory special agent for Group 1 of the Washington, D.C. field office from February 15th, 2023 to February 24th, 2023.
Okay. And in that, you're coming in here to this courtroom in that capacity to tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that I guess there are issues with that you dress a certain way. Is that right? When you're going to the office?
Are you asking me how I dress when I go to the office?
Well, no, you've already testified to that, but you're here testifying. And one of the things that you've said is that you dress in a different way than what was described of my client when he was going to the office on February 24th.
That is correct.
Okay. And you indicated you were in an undercover operation, correct?
I was assisting with an unrelated undercover operation in Baltimore, Maryland.
And undercover operations have its own command staff outside of the Vienna office, isn't that right?
I don't know that I would characterize it like that.
Okay. Are there undercover command staff that handle undercover operations that aren't in the people that I just listed off to you that were interviewed?
I'm unclear in your terminology, but yes, there are people who, we have a whole special investigative techniques group that's involved with undercover operations.
And they would be the people that if you have an undercover operation and you're talking to an undercover person, that you would be working with them, correct?
Not really, no.
This is the clear thing.
In
There
your
was no
undercover
meeting.
operations, when you're interviewing
This is it.
undercover operative, do you invite them into the office to talk?
I don't interview undercover agents. I'm confused. I'm a lead tech agent for the Washington, D.C. field office. So the traditional undercover operation where they get wired up and they have equipment and they're covertly recorded, that is my job. So I'm involved with that and then preserving for the chain of custody the evidence that's obtained during that meeting.
What about undercover operations that deal with other issues relating to IRS criminal investigations.
Such objection is to form. I don't think the question
All right,
makes
I'll
any
sustain
sense.
and rephrase.
What about undercover operations that would deal with specific areas of criminal fraud? How are they handled?
I've only been involved with undercover operations conducted by IRS criminal investigation,
Okay.
and they've virtually all involved fraud. So.
And so the undercover operations that other people do, are they different than what you're within the IRS?
Judge, objection is to relevance. I'm not sure where we're going with this at this point.
I'm just trying to get to the background, get to his background, Judge.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Next question.
Now, sir, would you have known where Lawrence Flagg was on the 24th of February, 2023?
I do because he told me.
Okay, were you keeping track of him otherwise?
Yes, we were in regular contact throughout that day.
Okay, and that was because of the incident that occurred at the Banfield house, correct?
Correct.
Prior to the incident happening, would you have been in contact with Lawrence Flagg on a regular basis?
Can you define regular basis?
Well, you tell me, how often do you have contact with him?
He's an agent in the group. As a regular agent in the group, I would see him probably whenever we're both in the office. As a supervisor, I would have contact with him as needed.
And so how many times did you have contact with him as a supervisor during that week?
I cannot recall the days before February 24th, 2023, but on February 24th, 2023, I had many phone conversations with Lawrence Flagg.
Okay, I don't have any.
All right, redirect.
Okay, just
Though, guys, that was entirely shit pushed by Brendan. Guaranteed. He was scratching out notes and said, here, ask him all this. Because that was a lot of very specific stuff. That was Brendan fucking scratching it out. Like, you're doing your client's wishes at that point. He knows he's fucking toast, but this way he could say, I did everything my client asked. Especially because Brendan is a little more sophisticated than your average person, too. But that's what happened there.
for clarification, was Lawrence Flagg Mr. Banfield's supervisor?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Banfield testified that he had a scheduled meeting with his manager. That would have been yourself or Juliet Jones. Is that correct?
Those are the only two people I can look at have been his manager. Yes.
Okay. And she was out of the country and you were in Baltimore and not planning on meeting him, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's enough.
Oh,
Thank you, Judge.
there you
So
go.
you're free to go.
Judge, can I ask one more question?
No, sir. Done. All right, you're free to go. All right. Your next witness.
Commonwealth rest.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commonwealth has arrested the rebuttal evidence. So in other words, you have heard all the evidence you're going to hear in this case. So what I'm going to do, we have some housekeeping matters taken here. So what I'm going to do is release you early today. And what we'll do is when we come back at 10 a.m. tomorrow, you will hear closing arguments and then the case will be handed over to you. Okay? All right. So have a good night. Do not discuss the case. Do not do any outside research, please. Okay. Thank you.
Hold up. You know which counsel's trying.
Oh, look at that. He knows he's fucked. Uh-oh.
All right, Mr. Carroll, now your motion.
Yep, cool.
Your Honor, renew my motion to strike previously given. In addition,
Thank you.
I'd renew my motion to strike previously given at the light most favorable of the Commonwealth, expecting that evidence would come to light regarding the investigations in this case. It would come to light regarding anything that would appear other than the co-defendant, who has every possible incentive to tell the story that the Commonwealth has asked her to tell. Once again, not in the light most favorable of the Commonwealth, we're here at the end of the evidence. The testimony by the co-defendant, who appears to tie everything together for the Commonwealth, essentially was a story that when pushed and questioned, couldn't do anything but say, I don't know. And in fact, at one point, as I asked questions regarding details, and as we know from listening to the lengthy evidence relating to digital forensics, the lengthy evidence relating to blood stain pattern analysis, These require details, and this Commonwealth's case is entirely devoid of details. You've heard from many detectives who were in the defense case, specifically Detective Miller, who was their expert, the expert that they chose not to use. And in that, he indicates that the data, he still stands by the data relating to his executive summary. The only thing that changes is that Juliana Perez Magalhães decided to come forward. Once again, if someone's coming forward, there has to be some sort of a way to test their knowledge, test their timing, test by the dates that are crucial to this case. And in despite the fact she walked through with the Commonwealth, whatever the story was going to be, she couldn't answer any other questions, or she wouldn't answer any other questions. Judge, with all due respect, it was my position, and we did it. We put on the evidence through the Commonwealth's witnesses, and many of them are in absolute conflict with what she said. This whole entire case rests on her testimony, and rests on her testimony relating to the timing of her trial, the timing of her the health illness, the timing of Brendan's arrest, and the timing of her feeling like she'd lost the ability to defend herself because of whatever she says about her lawyer. I'm not saying that's true, but it was certainly something that she was thinking of. In fact, we saw numerous messages where she talks about almost giving up hope, because if he asks for another continuance, then I don't know what I'm going to do. And so, Your Honor, given all of those facts and no longer in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth, I'd respectfully suggest that Your Honor strike this case. In addition, the motion to dismiss relating to Napu, it still even more so relies upon what I believe to be testimony that's not truthful and can be shown and has been shown to be not truthful in numerous ways. And I respectfully ask that you consider the motion to dismiss.
Your Honor, in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth, we have met our burden. It's heard the case is submitted to
verdict judgment.
Well, in this matter, not weighing the evidence, but the evidence that's before the court, there is this scintilla evidence for each of the counts. There's 5 counts in 2024-666, and there's 2 counts in 2024-873. And there is evidence that can go forward to the jury. The weight that they put on it at that time is up to them. And as far as the dismissal under NAPU, I again will deny that motion, as I don't find it as a matter of law that the co-defendant's testimony is incredible. Again, that weight goes to the jury. So based on those
decision, that is
those statements and what was stated in the record for the previous motion to strike, your motions are denied. Okay. All right. So jury instructions.
So you say
Your
get
Honor,
up.
initially, if the Commonwealth may be heard, and I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Frischler because she has the indictments pulled up. As I'm sure the court knows, the Commonwealth cannot proceed with sentencing on both an aggravated murder within 3 years, as well aggravated murder for commission at the same time. At this point in time, we would elect to go forward on aggravated murder for 2 offenses committed within 3 years.
Oh, God,
and between the 2,
going all
child
out,
endangerment and abuse and neglect, we have elected to move forward with endangerment. Ms. Frischler can address which.
Okay. Just so I get this straight, I mean, the case law is that both Section 7 and Section 8 can go back to the jury.
They can, and then if they find guilty on both.
Sentencing, I just sentence on one.
Correct. We, at this point in time, feel that it would be less confusing for the jury to simply submit
It's your
on
case, so.
the offenses that we believe we've met the burden of proof.
They're
for.
just
Okay, so
going
which ones are
forward.
you going
Damn, they're
forward
going
on? I guess
full
Ms.
thing,
Frischler,
guys.
Judge, we, in case number ending 666.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
So Judge, if we strike counts 1 and 2, those being the aggravated murder charges within the same transaction.
Count 1 and 2.
Yep.
When you say strike, do you mean dismiss?
Yes.
I assume no objection. All right. Count 1 and count 2 are dismissed.
Yep, that would leave us with counts 3, 4, and 5 in that case number.
Okay.
Then Judge, if we look to case number ending in 873,
Okay.
and in that indictment, if we look to count 2,
All right.
count 2 would be the
Child abuse.
Abuse and neglect.
yes, that would be the one that we would strike.
So you're striking count 2.
Dismiss,
We're dismissing count 2.
Yes.
Any objection to that? All right. So we just have count 1 of 873, which is child endangerment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So based on that, we need the charging instructions then for the 2 Okay, here's the next question I have for you. So count 3 and count 4 are legally the same. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the charging instruction for
666?
aggravated murder, you're just switching the names, but it still have to find premeditated murder, correct? For both of them. So what's the difference between count 3 and count 4?
One is for the murder of Christine, one is for the murder of Joseph Ryan.
Well, it's aggravated murder, so it's one charging instruction for both of them. The only reason it's aggravated murder is the killing of 2 people.
Correct.
Okay, so how can you have different charging instructions? We're just flipping the names. The one charging instruction would involve both murders.
And
For
Your Honor, the way we
aggravated
drafted them was to say exactly what you just said, to flip the names. One is for the murder of Christine Banfield and one is for the.
In order to have aggravated murder, you have to have two murders.
Correct.
So the charging instruction has to have both murders on the charging instruction, right?
Yes.
Do we want to look at the model jury instruction?
And we used the model jury instruction.
Right, so how can you have two of those?
If Your Honor does not, then we couldn't, is Your Honor suggest that we couldn't have two instructions or that we can't have two indictments?
Your two indictments are proving exactly the same thing. I mean, how is that possible? It's not for the murder of one and murder of the other. Aggravated murder is two murders. So you have one I thought, and it's your case, I thought it was what aggravated murder for one for 3 years, aggravated murder for one in the same transaction. But that's not what you're doing, which is fine. But I
understand.
So she's saying it doesn't make sense logically how you're doing this based on the jury instructions and the law.
I don't see how you can do two separate aggravated murders when you have to put the two murders in for aggravated murder.
Understood. And I see
the waterfall instructions are different.
Sure.
Because you have first degree murder
Right,
in one,
and then it
first
splits
degree murder in
apart.
another.
Right. And that's how we've written them, is to have a waterfall for each, so that if they find one can be.
What's the difference between the two aggravated murders, though?
Judge, I can look up some case law on this.
So the way they're saying this is, if you in Virginia, if you commit two or more murders, it's aggravated murder. But her point is, like, the way you're doing it, it's not making any sense to her. This seems really dumb, is what they're getting at there. There's different kinds of aggravated murder, kind of like I talked about in Ohio. If you kill somebody who's a cop, if you kill someone under the age of 13, if you kill someone after you've escaped from prison, there's, different ways to get aggravated murder. So that's what they're arguing about. And the judge is like, based on what you want me to do, the jury instructions make no sense. That's what she's saying there. So, Serenity says, what's the relationship between the two victims? Literally nothing. Literally nothing. They lured him in there. Basically, they found this guy on a sex website to come over and have sex with her, and they set it up as he was saving her from a rapist.
And take a minute, figure out the answer to your question, because I don't think I have.
I think I have it chaptered here. I mean, aggravated murder for your section that you're going under is number one, that the defendant killed, name of both people.
Sure.
And number two, that the killings, plural, were willful, deliberate, premeditated. And number three, that they happened in a 3-year period.
Okay, understood. But then the indictment couldn't stand as 2 counts either.
Well, that's what
that's what you're trying to tell me. Okay.
The one for the same transaction can go back as subsection 7, and the one for subsection 8 can go back as 2 different aggravated murders. But how can you have 2 under subsection 8 going back as 2
But then what
aggravated
do
murders?
we do? How does the waterfall instruction read when you believe that he killed Joe but not Christine? And
Well, that's why you have to do a different waterfall instruction.
So what I was understanding Your Honor to suggest was that there would only be 1 indictment and 1 instruction for aggravated.
Right.
But wouldn't we then need 2 separate instructions?
Right. If you find that he only murdered Christine Banfield,
right,
at first degree, and you have to go down that, or move on to the next, you haven't found that, it would be the opposite.
But at what point do they diverge, right? Because if you don't find aggravated, do you then have a separate instruction for first degree for both? If you find Christine but not Joe, and you find Joe but not
If
Christine?
you have not found aggravated murder, period.
Okay.
Then you may find first degree there, first degree here.
Right.
Is this making sense?
It is. No, I'm absolutely tracking what you're suggesting. I think that's not the way we've done it, though. So we should.
So here's the point, chat. Here's the point. Yes, this judge is she was in the Marines as a JAG attorney. So here is the issue. Here's the issue. Luke saying it'd be double jeopardy sentencing for the murders of Christine and Joan for the murders of Joe and Christine. Flipping names to change elements. Luke, no. That's not what they're getting at. That's not what they're getting at here. She's pointing this out, and here's the issue. In Virginia, these are the different ways you could commit aggravated murder. They have multiple ways. Okay? So, like, here's way number 1. Are you killing somebody, willful, deliberate, premeditated in the commission of an abduction, like a kidnapping? Okay? Did you kill somebody for hire? Did you kill somebody by a prisoner confined in a jail cell? Or while you were in the custody of that? Did you kill somebody during the commission of a robbery? Did you kill somebody in the commission of a rape or a sex offense? Did you kill somebody? We'll zoom in a little more here, guys. Did you kill somebody who's a law enforcement officer or a fire marshal? Did you? And this is where the problem is for these guys. And she's pointing out the problem. The willful, deliberate, premeditated killing of more than one person is part of the same act or transaction. And then the willful, deliberate, and premeditated killing of more than one person within a 3-year period. The problem is they might think you only killed Joe. They might believe that, maybe Juliana murdered Joe and that he only murdered Christine. And she's saying, if you do this, your instruction doesn't factor in this. The prosecutor's only focused on this part, and the judge is saying, wait, you need to focus on this side of the equation. If they don't think you killed that person, that's the problem here. That's kind of what they're arguing about. Does that make sense, chat? Does that make sense? They're saying, well, if they don't think he killed one, then how are we going to figure out the math on it? So that's more of what they're getting to here. And Judge Escarati's been like, your instructions don't encounter that fucking possibility. Joe Show says, if Joe had survived, would the Commonwealth charge him with attempted assault or whatever? No, because he doesn't think he's intentionally committing the act. Mistaken belief. Like, I was catfished and I literally thought she wanted me to pretend to rape her. It's going to be like he doesn't have the mens rea for it. Yeah, but Luke, she's pointing it out. She's pointing out that even if you flip him around, you still have this problem of, okay, Joe and Christine and Joe, but let's say you say one killed one and the other killed the other. Even if you switch them around, you still run into the problem of the jury could say one killed one, the other killed the other. We need to break down the first degree things as well as a secondary thing here. She's saying that they didn't use a correct thing on this. So she looks miserable right now. She definitely doesn't look like Johnny Depp mode. And that's her other point here, is it's the same people. The 3-year period seems arbitrary, but that's what they do. So think about it. If they've killed 2 people within a 3-year period and you flip it around, it's still 2-year people within a 3-year period. But she's also pointing out, if you say that it's Joe or Christine, you didn't include the rest of it. Green Cap says, are they fucked because they already dismissed the other charges? No, because you can ask for lesser includeds off that. And then J-Rock, you're saying it's arbitrary? That's what Virginia set for some reason. Yeah, but killing 2 people within a 3-year period seems retarded to me. But, whatever. I just work here, chat.
Just sailing with the indictments the way they were presented with 2 counts of each. 2 counts of within 3 and 2 counts at the same time. I will need to look into this to determine what the next step forward is.
That's not a problem. I mean, would you rather do this in the morning then?
Yeah, just to make sure that I have the correct answer rather than.
That's fine. I think that's fair. Do you have any objection to that, Mr. Carroll? Or anything you want to add to the conversation?
No, Your Honor, we're chatting, so I'm fine with looking into it.
Well, if you want to, maybe I'm going down the wrong rabbit hole. But it's just,
Your Honor, I think it bears looking into. I think you raise a good point. If we can, however, then not yet strike counts from the indictment, we may still come back to that same position. But
okay, that's fine. We can do that. So we can get this figured out.
Okay.
And if you come back tomorrow and that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm just trying to keep a clean record here.
Understood. I appreciate that.
Can we have the 9:30 motion, so you want to meet at 9? Is a half hour going to be enough time?
That should be, because we will speak in advance of court tomorrow.
Well, that would be, it's music to my ears, if it's true. Okay, that would be fantastic. If you can meet ahead of time and maybe agree, whichever way you end up going on them, and we can have those charging instructions tomorrow for whichever
yes, ma'am.
you go for.
She's like,
I'd appreciate it. Let's meet at 9 then.
agree ahead of
Let Jamie
time.
know we need a court reporter for 9.
She's like, I swear to God, you guys better get this done. She's like, I swear to fucking God. That's no, that's it, guys. So there we go. This judge is like, we are fucking done. And she's like, you fuckers better figure this out. She's pulling a Jeremy DeWitt. You'd better figure it the fuck out. because I am not going to be happy if you don't. She wants a jury instruction sorted out ahead of time. We finished in time for a model stream. No, we finished in time for me to go to bed. So, I think the weird thing is a charge with 2 branches for lesser included. Yeah, but you could do that. And then Holly Naomi, hello. Good to see you. He is done, you mean? Oh yeah, he's not. He's going away. He's going away. But yes, I think Judge Azcarate's hoping like fuck, maybe this can end tomorrow, like the jury gets it and they convict him. And she's like, then I could just enjoy my weekend. She's like, I want to go home and sleep. So, you still haven't heard her defense. Well, sometimes baffling a bullshit is the defense. And that's what this one was. We're going to baffle him with bullshit. It's not working. It wasn't very effective. So, Gene says, why did he testify? I don't know. They didn't really have a chance. They didn't really have a choice. They didn't really have a choice on that one. There was no... I mean, yeah, there's going to be... You're claiming self-defense anyway, so the jury's going to want to hear you if you're claiming you're the righteous guy. But they were kind of getting their ass kicked. There was not a whole lot they could do there. He had to testify or they were dead. So... His defense fucked him. Well, no, that means he fucked himself. I mean, like, honestly, though, there wasn't a whole lot he was doing to walk away from this, really. Like, be honest with yourselves, chat. He was not... He was going to get boned on this no matter what. Like, if you're honest with yourself, he was going away no matter what happened. Which is just... That's just the way it is. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Things won't ever be the same. So, yeah, you got nothing to lose. Why not testify? I know, but I don't think anybody... There's no way he, like, probably really thought anybody believed him. I can't imagine he thought anybody believed him. Like, J-Rock, do you really think anybody... Like, do you think he sat down there thinking, all these guys believe me? Yeah, I don't. I don't. Is that fucking Bruce Hornsby in my legal stream? Yes. Yes. So, I mean, guys, you don't understand. When you have dog shit facts on your side and nobody's going to believe you, there ain't a lot you're going to be able to do. There ain't a lot you're going to be able to do here. So, I don't necessarily blame him for doing it. But he's an IRS agent. I thought he was untouchable. Well, I'm sure he thought that himself. I'm sure he thought he was untouchable. Little did he know. Little did he know. You know, like he got the surprise of a lifetime, chat. So Sarah Boone believed herself. Yeah. There are a lot of clients who believe their own bullshit. Of course, when you're already looking at a guilty verdict, he had the money to do it. Yeah. Who knows what he's thinking? Maybe he's like, well, fuck, I'm going down. I might as well go. Are we going to go to war with Iran? Probably. I mean, all that shit's not in the Arabian Sea just for show and tell. So, yes, sadly, yes, we're probably going to war. Everything's in place right now. So, I think, yeah, maybe this weekend, assuredly. So. Sarah actually forgives me, too. I know she does. She's so sweet. She's America's sweetheart. She's America's sweetheart. So, with that said, chat, if there's closing arguments tomorrow, we might try to knock those out before Russell. I don't know. I still think Kranick violated her rights. I can understand that. He forced that trial way too fast. But remember, you know what the courts say? Harmless error. Oh, well. So yeah, she's gonna get. Yep. Well, she's also gonna get harmless error, and they're gonna say it wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day. I know. I heard Turtle Boy's got a hearing tomorrow. We may cover that over the weekend. Why attend King of the Hammers in SoCal? Is that like a blacksmithing thing? Or is that like an MC Hammer convention for like fans of MC Hammer? Boone only got life, right? She got life without parole. No, Sarah Boone's doing all day and all night out back, as the kids say. So, as the kids say. King of the Hammers is a 4-wheel drive in Utah. Okay. We got to cover the rare breed stuff. Yeah, I'm hoping like I said, I'm hoping I can get my guests to come on, and we'll do it. But if not, we'll just do it ourselves here coming up. We'll have time next week because everything's slowing down. So it's a 4-wheel drive race in Moab. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Oh. All right, chat. Well, that's it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow. And yeah. Good night, chat. And Brendan Banfield, you're probably gonna get convicted tomorrow. I'm calling it. Less than an hour deliberations. There's no fucking way they take longer than that. There's no way. Good night, chat. Take care.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rick Hayden yelled at? Why, yes it was.